Welcome back. For all of those that haven't, please like and subscribe. It will help me grow the channel and create more content for you. What I will be doing today will be gluing down the wood veneer on an old sewing machine that I estimate roughly around early 1900. It was my mom's first sewing machine. It had been stored in a barn for quite a while, so the weather, temperature, and everything had gotten to it, moisture, and caused a lot of the veneer of the wood to fall off. And I will be gluing it back on and then using wood oil with a slight stain in it to get it back into shape. You will see the finished product at the end. Alright, I'm getting ready to start taking this project on, which means I'm going to have to unscrew that handle out of the drawer. Right there, I'm showing you a piece of the veneer that had fallen off and how bad that it was actually peeling up off of it. Then you want to grab that throwaway container and fill it full of glue and go ahead and put a Q-tip and a toothpick inside of that, and that'll come into play a little bit later. We're going to use the Q-tip to spread the glue out on this broken piece of veneer, and then the places where it's actually separating on the drawer itself, I'm dipping the toothpick into the glue and then using it to actually push the glue in between the veneer and the wood. You want to get the glue in as deep as you possibly can with the toothpick without breaking the veneer. Then I'm going to take clamps and then clamp it down to let it dry. I'm using the cheapest pack of variety clamps from Harbor Freight, and do not be afraid to use as many clamps as it needs to ensure that the veneer is flat on the surface of the wood. I am now going to do the exact same process on the other 3 drawers. If you have a big section of veneer that you can try to save like I did on that one, you can take a flat piece of wood and then any form of weight and sit it on top of that, and then use that flat board to compress the veneer down onto the wood. This drawer was peeling apart in several different places, so I used several clips on the bottom side and top side on the sides itself. That's what I was referring to. Do not be afraid to use as many clamps as needed. As you're doing this project, do not be afraid to get a lot of glue in there because it needs it. Any excess glue that you might have there, you can just wipe away with your finger, and that's what the paper towel is used for, is to clean your finger off and not get that everywhere. Okay, I'm going back to the first drawer that I glued up. I'm checking to see if the glue's dried enough to do what I need to. I believe it has. So I'm taking off the clamps and getting it ready to apply oil. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and sand down any excess glue that was squeezed out by the clamps. Then I'm going to apply the oil to the rag and then wipe the front of the drawer down to get the oil to penetrate. Once again, we're going to be using a Q-tip and getting the oil on the Q-tip so I can get into any tight spots or areas that I want to super saturate the oil to help the look of the finish. When I grabbed my next drawer, I realized there were spots that still were not completely attached correctly, so I went ahead and grabbed the toothpick and started to fill in the cracks with glue again, put clamps on it, got it ready to set up while I worked on another drawer. Right here shows you that I had quite a bit of excess glue that dried. Sand that off and you will not have an issue. Once again, this drawer needed more glue because it was separating some other spots, so I went ahead and glued it up, put more clamps on it, and set it back to the side. Keep repeating the glue and sanding until you are happy that you've secured the wood and the veneer good enough for you. Once you're satisfied, then go back to the oil process. I said a Q-tip to get the deep areas and cracks and crevices, and then a rag for the big majority of the area. Now, if your veneer is super discolored, such as this one where it had the big handle on it, I went ahead and sanded down the area that had been protected by the handle. That way the oil would try to penetrate evenly for a more uniform finish. This is not a professional repair and replace and fix of the veneer, but what it did was make it look like a very nice piece while still aged. Then the last thing I did was change out the drawer pulls, and it turned out very well for what I wanted.
Please like and subscribe.